everybody?
What's going on?
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Man, do we have
Guy
some?
Talk Show,
Yeah, to the Guy Talk Show.
where we don't objectify women.
Yeah.
I haven't been to. I don't go to Hooters or strip clubs.
I do. As a matter of fact, I almost went to a strip club this past weekend. It was me.
You just came from a strip
No,
club?
no. We almost did. I was just a little too tired. It was about 11:30, and I was like, it was me and a couple other people in the car, and I was like, there was a woman with us, by the way. So we're just.
So that makes it okay.
That makes it okay. I was like, hey, you guys want to go to a strip club? Everyone was like, yeah, let's do it. And then I was like, I'm just a little too tired. So I think if it was up to me, we would have gone up to the strip club. But they were down. So
Yeah.
And I go to Hooters like every other week or something like that. So
I hear.
yeah, Hooters is fun.
Nah, Hooters is fun. Yeah, I have some stories.
Oh, Jesus.
When I used to go.
When you used to go to Hooters.
But anyway, yeah,
Yes,
we're not
sir.
drinking beer today because
I kind of wish we were.
it's sober December.
So for December. Get healthy December.
Yeah. But today we're talking about a new study that we found on psychology. Its title says New psychology research uncovers power-related motives behind men's objectification of women. So men, according to the article, who endorse social hierarchies are more likely to objectify women when their own power is threatened, according to new research published in the Journal of Psychology of Women Quarterly.
Yeah.
So
We're pigs.
in a social setting or hierarchy, men tend to objectify women if they feel threatened by their status in that hierarchy. Sort of what I get from this last statement. So it's a couple of smart women wrote or did this study.
PhD women.
Yeah.
But like I alluded before, we also have degrees, so we're just peer reviewing this.
Yeah, that's how we like to see it.
Yeah, kind of like that.
So no, I mean, like anyway, we're going through it, we're talking about it. We kind of disagree in several things, especially since at least I think you as well. But I do believe that our biology has a lot to do with the way we behave in a lot of these settings, and can explain a lot of these settings. The problem is that sometimes people want to push it the other way and make a certain group, in this case men, seem like, at least that's what I get from the article. They kind of want to demonize men for behaving this way. And I get what she's saying to some extent. Of course, because this study talks about how they made a study, or this study between these 100 plus heterosexual men and heterosexual women in a social status where they were both teammates, and then if one felt threatened, the men typically would objectify the woman, but it wouldn't work the other way. So the woman would not objectify the man if she felt threatened on her position, right? And also with bosses, the same situation or circumstance. The problem here is that she says, I have a particular interest in subtle and mundane manifestations of objectification. For example, gazing at women's bodies, which are not overly hostile or oppressive and are often assumed to be driven solely by sexual motivations. Yeah, I agree with that last part. It's assumed, like, I do believe that a lot of our behavior is driven because of, our need to reproduce, which becomes sexual, right? Sexual nature.
Unfortunately,
so
sorry, ladies.
Us as men who want to acquire all these assets because we want to attract the best female, right? Women don't compete as much in that sense because that's not what they do. But the problem that I have with this is when she's talking about gazing at women's bodies, for example, and I was thinking about that, and I think we were talking about that before too. A couple of days ago, I was with my girl. We were ordering food, right? And the cashier, she was attractive. She's like Greek, I think. So she looked a little different, right?
A little foreign.
Right. And but she was not like overly sexual. She just looked like a normal dressed, not trying to get attention or anything like that. And I found myself kind of just like checking her out, like and the only reason I realized that is because she looked at me when I was doing that, right?
Yeah.
And you've experienced
Yeah,
that
of
too,
course.
like we've all experienced that from time to time. I was not drooling over her. I was
No.
just like like a simple behavior that we as men tend to do,
It's
and it's like, all right,
it's admiration almost.
admiration,
Yeah,
right?
it's
Because like the female body, it's a beautiful thing.
it's a,
Just like I like to, as the article says, gaze at a beautiful sunset. Like you look at it, you stare at it, everyone does, because it's a beautiful thing. It's admirable. The female body, in many occasions, as long as you're not overweight, it's also the same thing, right?
oh, so I know what you mean by overweight. I do enjoy me a voluptuous woman. And a voluptuous woman
No, but in the right parts, right?
from time to time can be overweight. I don't see it that way. I know certain standards of pageants and stuff like that, they might be called plus size. I don't see it. They're just another beautiful creature, but I know what you mean.
Right. But I mean, as long as like flab coming over, like just completely all over the
Yeah.
place, like that's not attractive, not in a man, not in a woman. And it's not to body shame, because I also don't believe in body shaming just to body shame, but it's not good to be overweight for many different health reasons, right? Which, we've covered before. But in this case, like the beautiful body, or the woman's body, is a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And at least from my perspective, I mean, yeah, people can think whatever the hell they want to think, but I'm not objectifying. I'm just appreciating,
100%.
just like I can appreciate nature, like a nice flower, or the sunset we're talking about. It's just one of those things. I just feel like, especially this article is trying to turn it into something that it's not. And I get it. There are creepy men who, do objectify and do want, blowjob to get a promotion or whatever. I understand that, and that's not what we're talking
The
about.
one that gets me, just on a side note, is the dude that is compelled to take a fucking photo. Like the secret photo. You've seen those dudes.
Oh, yeah,
Those
yeah.
creepy dudes that want to take a secret photo of girls. Like, yeah, you get that. You're gone too far.
Right. Right. So, I mean, there's definitely that. And, you can say the same thing about women in other ways, right? But my point being that, yeah, I agree with, especially in this era, that, the whole Me Too movement, I agree. When someone is trying to use their power to, bang one of the subordinates, I get it. We should get rid of that. But the way she explains some of these things is just a little too much for me to like really
Take it all that serious.
right. Yeah, it just seems very biased, very one-sided in that sense.
There isn't real rigorous scientific data here.
Right.
From what I looked, seems a lot of maybe she has a point. I don't know. Write us an email. Let us know how you feel about this.
An email?
No, but no, definitely, dude. I totally agree with this. I think, to your point, there's something very appealing, something very attractive about a woman's figure. We associate it with the hourglass body, right? That became real prominent. Obviously, our tastes have changed throughout cultures. In the fitness age of things in the 70s and 80s up into the 90s, we like the slim, long-legged, not too much meat on the bone type of woman, which we found that very sexy. I'm talking about Pamela Anderson before the tits, and then she became what she obviously with the tits and everything, the Baywatch. Then she became that thing. So from there, obviously to this day we enjoy big boobs, skinny waist, big butt, the whole thing right there. That's something that's apparent, that's happened. You can't unsee it. You can't unwatch it.
The whole big butt and thicker, I think the Kardashians have a lot to do with it. I could be wrong. But,
Yeah. I think well, Marilyn Monroe was a thicker woman.
Right.
But anyways, so what I think to kind of address this point, to say that we can't even glaze and see and fuck it, even some people even romanticize sleeping with this woman. Cool, whatever, it happens. But to admire and stuff like that, it's just something that you can't almost do. I'll be honest. Girls do it, guys do it. It just doesn't seem bad when girls do it, and it's a little creepy when
again,
guys
man,
do it.
I think it's just this current time we're living in, that like you can't even really look at women without objectifying them, and according to this study. uh, I just feel like it's going a little too far in this sense. Just the way it's like, after reading the article, like, I understand, again, from a Me Too movement and all that. I understand, and I think that's where this article is coming from, just from that whole movement. But now I feel like they're going a little too far and trying to generalize it a little too much.
100%.
There are definitely those creeps, like we're talking about. There's definitely creeps on both sides of the aisle, but just to see that, or to claim that, that gazing at someone become very dangerous. Yeah,
that's a stretch.
Yeah,
that's a reach. No, dude, I think so. I think they're like trying to even police what's going on between her eyes or between her head. Something that's almost like DNA in us. Because, obviously, why we even do this, why we gaze, why we judge, is because we're trying to find the best partner. I mean, that's just DNA wise. We choose the women with the wider hips because childbearing hips, the whole thing. So I see it, and it's attractive, it's appealing, yes. But one thing is to be like whistling and calling name, hey girl, nice butt, whatever, but in a much vulgar way, nice ass or whatever, nice tits. I get that. That's creepy, and yes, it's been done to me, and I don't like it when it's been done to me.
Say nice tits, Francisco.
They say other things, and but I get it. I again, and also too though, I'd be honest, I've had coworkers and stuff like that, and that are just a little creepy, borderline, taking pictures of women and stuff like that. Like, oh, look at her tits. Did you see so-and-so's tits during the meeting? They were just so nice. I have you guys, and you guys probably know who I'm talking about. That's kind of creepy, dude.
Shame on you.
Shame on you, bastards. But anyways, I understand that, and even to a reasonable, I would say reasonable, I'm like, yeah, like kind of laughing about it, but it's a little distasteful for me.
Right.
Because, I mean, we've never really been like that. Like, oh, nice boobs or nice butt, whatever. It's never been like, oh, look at the juicy buns and stuff. None of that shit.
Yeah.
And I think that, yes, we can put a stop to it. But just to say glazing, I think it's a reach.
Right. And then going back to, you were talking about going both ways too. You were saying that, because the article does say that men, it doesn't specifically say that all men did it and none of the men did, or women did it, but that's insinuating with one. I can't find the.
So right here, I think in what was it? One of the, when they were asked to work together, and if who showed or displayed this power thing.
Right. Yeah, it says men with high social dominance orientation had a higher tendency to objectify women after being assigned to work as subordinates, but the same dynamic was not found among women. Now you're saying that.
So I was saying. So I worked at a place, and one of the higher ups was a very good looking dude. Very good looking dude. I haven't. Yes, he had the chiseled jaw, the whole things women ovaries just start pulsing to, right? And they used to call him, the something, Flavio or something like that, right? And you can clearly tell, like, oh my God, you can hear all the chatter between the women. He's so hot, or he's so dreamy. Oh my goodness. And I'm sure I probably didn't hear it, but I'm pretty sure in a couple occasions it went further to like, oh, we'll totally let him fuck me. I come on.
Backwards and sideways.
Yeah, so, because, girls, I hear you guys be.
Dude, so women do get, from what I hear among themselves, they get a lot more explicit than we ever do
as men. We never listen, man. We never talk about. Oh, man.
Ladies, let us know if that's true or not. But that's what we hear.
Yeah. But this is the thing. I think when I'm talking about, like, yo, I slept with that girl. I don't really give a shit for details. Like, oh, what did you do? Nah, I was like, something cool. Maybe there's a couple details slipped here and there, but it's never like, oh, what else did you do, man? How did you do? And I feel like women get so detailed about it, and it's like this and like, because for whatever reason that is. So I can only imagine when they're behind closed doors. Hey man, he looked extra good today, didn't he? I totally let him I'll give him a blowjob. I'd love to give him a blowjob of his life. Who knows? Who fucking knows? What I'm saying is, women do it too. and yes, men do it. We probably do. We get caught. Like you mentioned, I've been caught before too, especially when I was younger. But yeah, to just say that women don't absolutely do it or haven't done it, I think it's a little bit of a reach. However, I don't argue that men more, you know, they more openly do it,
Right.
is what I'm saying.
Yeah, man. And then going back to like the whole hierarchy thing that the article talks about. I mean, what do you expect? Men tend to usually show off too more. Like they want to, take lead, or compared to women, for example. There's a biological explanation to that too. Evolutionary explanation to that. But the fact that that's demonized now, that's the thing that kind of pisses me off sometimes about some of these articles and what I hear just recently too. Like, dude, come on! Like, you need to understand a little bit of biology and how we evolved to become the humans we are now. I mean, yeah, whatever we can fix, equality and all that, of course, let's do that.
Yeah, let's make it
But
as equal as
focus,
possible.
right? But focus, like, don't drop some of these things that are very important that can explain why we behave the way we do in many occasions. Not just this, but just a bunch of other things that where just to be politically correct, now you can't do or say or act a certain way. That's when I kind of have problems with some of these articles, like this one, for example, that's just making it very like polarized in that sense. Like, men are pigs under these situations. That's it. Like, that's pretty much what it's implying.
You know what this all brings up? That Disney movie called Cinderella. Weren't all those girls after the prince, but the prince only wanted the Cinderella? Something like that? Isn't that a form of that? They show, oh my god, he's so dreamy, right? Like, I think in the beginning, they show girls, like, he's walking by and girls,
Oh
I think,
yeah, they're all,
fainted.
right.
Oh, you see what I'm saying? Come on, come on. It's in a Disney movie that we watched as a child, but somehow men are the ones that are in
Well,
trouble.
then there was Snow White, and then all the seven dwarfs.
I think
Snow
that
White was trying some of those.
There's a reason why she
kinky
kept
stuff.
7 dwarfs, So no, I understand, and going back to kind of, it almost seems. I mean, to us, we're kind of we're interested in psychology and stuff like that, and why people act a certain way, and it doesn't seem as complicated as these articles want to make it seem like, oh, they're just pigs. No, it's just something that's just kind of biologically in us for whatever reason. Having to choose a mate, having to have someone who can reproduce. And it just happened that today in the 21st century, or it's about to be, 21st century. So we just, it just happens to be such a negative thing.
Yeah, man. I forgot what I was going to say. I was about to say something.
Sorry.
Well, this lady, obviously, these are psychologists. I love psychology. I love reading about psychology. The problem is that sometimes people in their field only stick to their field and are not well versed in other fields, like in this case biology or evolutionary biology or anything else, right? I don't know about this chick. I didn't really read. I shouldn't say chick, huh? Because that's
show some respect.
This educated woman.
Yeah.
This doctor, female doctor. They. So I mean, yeah, I'll give her the benefit of the doubt that she didn't miss that, but the study doesn't really show that. So I don't know, man.
I you know what? Who knows? I honestly, I think, with these societal roles and stuff like that, and the hierarchy and stuff like that, it's embedded in every part of us, from the whole patriarchy, our parents, to, like you were mentioning before, to the principal, to the CEO, everything is structured that way.
Yeah, like our parents meaning like in a family, right?
In the family structure, in the work structure, in the social structure, it's all there.
Even among friends. I mean, like, typically, I don't know. I mean, sure, you can back up what I'm saying, but in a group of friends, there's usually one of them who tends to kind of lead a lot of what we're doing, or where we're going, or whatever. I mean, we have a say. Mm-hmm. It's more communist with friends, I guess, but there's also someone who kind of takes the lead.
Takes the final kind of, okay, this is what we're doing. We all have that.
And it's usually a guy, but like, even if it's a girl, if she does it and she has good ideas and we all like her, like, why not? I'm not gonna objectify her because she's taking the lead.
No, not at all. If she wants to go,
check her out.
But yeah, man, I agree. I don't know, man. I don't know where this whole thing. Listen, we've all, obviously, we just talked about it. We've all objectified a woman before, in various levels. Various levels is just admire her body, or wanting to sleep with her. Now, some of these women shouldn't be going to clubs if they feel this way, because that's all they're doing is objectifying you. They're not trying to find out how nice you are. They're trying to bed you. That's all they're trying to do.
Or they're trying to get free drinks.
Yeah, and the girls are doing it vice versa. But what I'm saying is like, no, men.
Oh, man.
Yeah, men, all they do is objectify women at clubs.
Oh, of course.
That's all they doing. But women go ahead and willingly put on the skimpiest clothes and perk up their tits and get a little loosey goosey with the with the goose or whatever. And come on, man, you're putting yourself in that situation. I don't see you going to a club with a bathrobe on.
What's the fun in that?
There's no fun in that, right?
No one's gonna ask you out.
No.
No one's gonna take you.
Yeah, you get glammed up. You get all this for what? For an appearance. And guess what? When the music's so loud, they're not trying to have a conversation. All that is sexual tension amongst males and females, and a whole lot of objectifying. Women doing it to men, and men doing it to women.
Yeah. And then there's Tinder.
That's the ultimate, because you're swiping right or left on a potential match only based on looks.
Yeah.
So you're not even testing their wit, because sometimes, they might have some nice witty thing on their bio description. You're like, oh, he's not that good looking, but I like a sense of humor. Let's do this. That also is possible, but mostly based off looks.
Yeah. So anyway,
that's
what I
what
had to say about that.
Same
you
here.
Want to add something else?
No, I think I'm good.
And again, man, or everyone listening, we respect women just as much as men, as long as they earn the respect.
100%.
Because respect is earned. It's not given. I know a lot of people want to argue against that, but come on, like, you earn your respect, whether you're a guy or a woman, and so yeah, I mean, do what earns you that respect. Otherwise, stop bitching.
Yeah. I think in every facet of life, I think we are obviously all encountering these situations where we either can win somebody's respect or lose it. And I think a lot of the times when it's almost expected to have, like, everyone has a basic level of respect for one another, right? It either grows or it goes or diminishes from there.
Yeah.
It's not like there's some assholes out there that just deliberately go disrespecting people left and right all day, but that's just fucking, they're just dumb. I mean, they're just dealing with their own psychological issues on why they're doing that. But everyone earns it and everyone can lose it. I'm sure in many occasions people have lost respect for me because of me just acting like a jackass, saying certain things that probably weren't well. And there's been situations where somebody probably, because they've told me, man, I saw you like this, now you're like up here. And they've earned more respect because they probably had an initial feeling that I was just an average douchebag or something. It didn't turn out to be that way.
You're above average douchebag.
Yeah. Don't forget the douchebag. So actually, this happened to me really when I went to San Francisco. I want to give a quick little example. So we're having a good time. It's this guy, his girlfriend, me, and a friend. And something happened. I think she might have heard me say a couple things, and she probably just got the impression that I was some asshole, right? Cool. Anyway, something happens where I just do a nice gesture, and then we somehow engage, and she's like, wow, I'm like really impressed. Like I really thought you were just an asshole. I'm like, no, I still am. And then her whole thing was like, no, I thought you were. You just act like you are, but you're really nice on the inside. I can tell. And I'm like, oh crap, here we go. You're gonna try to fix me on why I gotta put up.
Oh, you're nice on the inside. That's what matters.
Yeah, no. Yeah, exactly. Like, no, but she's gonna go into the whole tangent like, well, you don't have to be going around acting like an asshole. I know you're a good guy on the inside. So what makes you like, oh Jesus, girls always want to fix things, right? No. Yeah. I'm good. And then 25 minutes later, we're almost getting into a fist fight with some other dude. So that didn't go out so well.
I'll take that back. You are a douchebag.
Then she, probably took that back. But anyways, so that's just a quick little example on that.
So any comments, leave them below if you agree, disagree. Ladies, if you talk about your guys with the other ladies, also mention that, because
yeah,
I do hear that a lot, and I do believe that's true because I've seen it just from different comments of different women saying that. So, yeah, man.
No, dude, it's crazy. This is the thing. I've seen on Twitter when girls post like screenshots of group chats that they've had and how they're just talking about a man, a guy. Like a guy would try to DM them or slide into DM, and then the girl just, for whatever reason, wants to go ahead and share right away into the group chat with a bunch of women, and then the women going at it. I've seen this. I know it's fact. I just want to know, how often do you guys do it? The real question is, how often do you guys do it? That it's being done. It's being done.
Yeah.
Just how often do you guys do it? I'd like to know.
So leave the comment on the bottom.
At the bottom, subscribe, like. Thank you all for the 61 subscribers. We're slowly climbing up the ranks.
Yeah.
Shout out to the people in South Korea, Canada.
Don't forget the ones in North Korea.
Oh, yes, the Republic. Yes, North Korea, Mexico.
Just kidding.
Te queremos mucho. I don't know how to say that in North Korean or Korea, but Korean.
Anyway, yeah. That's it.
That's it.
Until next time.